Just a content warning before we start. This episode contains ableist slurs. We'll put time codes in the show notes so you can skip past them, but still listen to the episode.
Look at your phone now at this run. You don't need a piece of paper.
You're right.
Just look at it.
I don't even need a piece of paper. And we have the irrepressible. Do you like that word?
Love it.
Ash Pollard with us in the rotating seat. Welcome.
Thank you so much. What does irrepressible mean?
That you can't press. I have no idea, but you can't do it.
I was hoping that you'd say, sit on this and spin.
Oh, yeah. Well, first girl on our official rotating Two Girls, One Pod chair is Ash Pollard. Welcome and sit and spin.
Woo!
Stop spinning now. Good. Okay, you're not too dizzy?
Whoa.
God, it's so radio, isn't it?
I know. You've just got to paint the picture. If our listeners cannot see.
Because you know all about radio. We used to see each other in the lift here when you were doing radio on the Central Coast.
Yes.
And I was filling in for Fifi.
Oh.
So we used to run into each other because we were both doing breakfast.
Of course.
Radio, and we didn't really have many
very
chats
early in
you
the
can't.
morning. You don't want to chat, though, that early either.
Exactly.
You just sort of do a polite kind of, hi.
I need my coffee. Exactly. So we had coffee once, and I think you were pregnant.
Yes.
But you didn't tell me.
Oh, no.
You didn't. I found out later, but I think you were at the time.
I wasn't telling many people.
No.
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah. Because also in the industry, it can be a thorn in your side.
A thorn in your side. Yeah, absolutely.
And people don't like to say, no, we champion women here. We champion women.
Absolutely
But actually, they don't. They like to pretend that they do.
I know, but they'll get rid of you pretty quickly if you up the duff.
Yeah.
And they won't say anything.
No.
So, yeah, that's understandable. Welcome.
Thanty you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm really glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Now, Ash, talk to me. What makes you such a
well, that's a very wonderful question, and I often ask myself that.
Is that okay to ask you?
So fine. But define it. Define the in me.
All right, let me explain to you what a
is.
What a is.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of going to be beeping in this episode.
Oh, you can't have it?
No.
Oh.
The S-bombs.
You guys have chosen the wrong person for your first Two Girls, One Pod episode. Anyway, look, we digress.
What I wanted to say is that, and it's funny because your last name's Pollard, you're polarising.
Yes, I've heard it.
Yep, you're one or the other. People love you or hate you. I absolutely adore you.
Thanks.
Because of who you are, and people absolutely hate you because of who you are. I want to know how you became who you are. You are one of the most confident people I've ever met. I watch you and you inspire me.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind.
I really like you. And I watch the way you talk, the way you do things, the way you speak to people, the way you speak about things, and I can see exactly what would bristle so many people. But I also see exactly what that does for me, which is so, I guess I covet you. Mm. I go, I want to be that. I want that confidence. I want that honesty. I want to be able to say what I'm thinking in my brain without to give, without apologising or saying first, look, I'm sorry, I'm sorry I'm going to say this. But because as women, the patriarchy has taught us to be sorry all the time, to never speak our mind, to unshine ourselves, to dull ourselves down. And I look at you and you, to me, you shine.
Do you know what I think it is? I reckon I'm pretty self-aware, reasonably self-aware, but also probably not as well, which is why I can be so bristly. Mm-hmm. And I am still told by my parents and my mum, don't say that, or you need to delete that story, that's horrible, or what you're saying is disgusting. You know what I mean?
So you have that parenting, but you still do it anyway?
Yes.
So it hasn't affected you?
Well, it does.
It does?
It does, because I get a little sprinkle of anxiety when I read or hear that from anybody, and I'm like, oh, God, and then I get paranoid about it. I do worry about it.
Yeah.
But I think to myself, I am where I am because of it.
Yeah.
And yes, you can call me and all of those kind of things, but I feel like I'm not necessarily I'm just saying things that people think that they don't have the balls to say. So whilst you're saying that you're mean, Ash, like you could say to me, that's mean, don't you dare tell me that you haven't thought it.
Thank you.
Like the
Thank you.
nicest person in the world is still judgmental, because as a human,
It's what we do.
it is what we do.
It's exactly what we do.
But I feel like there is an art to delivering conversation and quips and things like that.
You have the art down to a fine art. The gift down to an art.
Thanks.
that I think you do.
Thank you.
I think you do.
I don't know, though, if that's intentional. I kind of just believe that that is just who I have always been. I have always been a bit of a performer. Mm-hmm. I have always kind of been a bit out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sus on whether or not I should delve into this or even say it, because everybody's saying it, and I think, is it a trend or is it not?
Say it.
The ADHD, ADD thing. I'm sick of hearing about it. I am sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
But I might have some of that with respect. And, you know, I don't think that my personality is just like, she's a bitch and she doesn't care. That's not me, because I actually do care, and I do get paranoid if I hurt somebody's feelings or if I accidentally say something and it comes out the wrong way. That's not how I was intending it to be.
That's what I was going to ask you. Does it hurt? Because if there's a massive difference between being mean and being honest, and being mean...
Or it can be one in the same.
Well, yeah, but you're having malice?
Yes.
And being honest. So you say things, and you can say mean things, but if you hurt someone's feelings, that's what I wanted to know. Does it really hurt you that you go, oh, I didn't mean to hurt you?
Yes, I get very anxious and worried that I've upset that person. It bothers me, because I'm human.
Can I ask you something else then that may, we just talked about the ADHD stuff, and these are diagnoses that for women especially have gone just undone. It was a boys' disorder, and it was never something that we were even allowed to look at. I had ADHD from a very young age, and
diagnosed?
Well, wanted to be, but my parents were like, that's a boys' thing. She just drinks too much red cordial. So it was, no, it's a boys' thing. So it wasn't diagnosed young at all.
So I was often sent to behavioural therapists a lot as a kid, because my report card always said that I was disruptive.
Same.
And, all the typical...
If only she could... She's very smart. If only she would sit still and concentrate.
And apply herself. That's always...
We could put our report cards together and they would just be the same.
So my mum just sent me to like Kip McGrath, which are those extracurricular things. Yeah. And, I'd have to go to all of those. I had a maths tutor and a this tutor and a that tutor, and I was at performing arts school to try and get it out of me that way.
But when you just said then your parents sent you to behavioural things, just those
like
stuff?
Doctors, and like mum was like, what's up? Like what is there something not wrong, but...
Yeah.
And all the doctors were like, nah, she's just naughty. But here I am after 2 children, and I have to tell you, my brain is actually getting worse. So I'm getting sicker in my head in terms of like how I think, how I process things, how I am in conversations. I forget a lot of stuff. I can't apply myself anymore. I'm really paranoid and I'm really anxious, and no psychologist has ever worked for me. I've been to them all.
You have?
Yep. And so now I'm at a psychiatrist.
Big difference.
Big difference. I'm at the beginning, and also this person is a guy. Mm-hmm. So I've always had women.
Right.
So now I'm at a guy, and we're at the beginning, and I said to the guy, look, I want to float the ADD thing. I'm embarrassed to even bring it up, because I sort of just think, is it a trend?
I don't want to jump on.
Don't want to jump on, but let's just put it there in case. And he's like, right, well, I acknowledge that. Let's just work through your life and, we'll get to that and we'll just see what we can do for you now. And I'm like, also don't want to be medicated. Let's try and because I want to try and work through it in my brain. I want to get my brain strong and get there with my brain, hopefully, before I get the meds.
Do you think the meds could help you do that, though?
Potentially, but I've already done meds before.
Those type?
No.
Because those
anxiety
type are
meds.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I'm going to preface all of this with we are not medical professionals, so we can only, say what we know from medical professionals.
Yeah.
I do know my friends that are on ADHD medicine. It doesn't last like more than a day. Like it's not the kind of med like an anxiety. It's not a 24-hour thing, and that's what I have found when people have said I don't want to take the meds, especially with ADHD. When they do, it's like, oh my God, I have the best morning because I get the shit done.
I get that,
and then you don't have to take them every day.
Yeah,
you just have them when you need them.
I'm a very firm, but like your brain is a muscle.
Yeah.
So it's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So I feel like let's try that way first. Let's do the brain gym first.
Okay.
And if that's not working for me,
they're there.
Then yeah.
Because that's a great. I'm really glad that you say that because to have it open. There's some people that just say I just won't point blank ever take a medication for something that probably will really help me. So you're open to it.
I'm
and that's
open
fantastic.
to it. Yeah.
So what you were just saying then, the things that were not working for you and everything, they call that the masking, don't they? You go through life and you learn how to act a certain way as someone that has attention deficit hyper disorder.
I just said to my partner the other day, he's like, but you seem fine. And I said, honestly, I am a professional at seeming fine.
Yeah.
I'm uppity. I'm just get shit done. Boom, boom, boom. Hustle. And then every month I'll have an absolute spiral.
Yeah.
And I'll just be inconsolable.
Yeah.
And
because the whole take over and you can't mask anymore. And then it gets to a point, they say, that with the ADHD masking, the masks come off completely and you just can't even use them. You're like, I don't even know how to find my mask anymore. And that's when you get to that point of I'm going to need medical help, like medicinal help or medicational help or something like that.
I also tried medicinal marijuana.
Yeah, right.
CBD oil.
Yeah. My friends have as well. And how did that go for you?
It sort of just takes the edge off.
Yeah,
I didn't pursue it enough.
Yeah.
But, that's another option too.
It's a great option, and it's a good one, especially for people who don't want to do medication.
Yeah.
But I find the people that start on the CBD end up going over to the medication anyway because they're like, oh, me. Why did I not do this earlier? This has changed my life. There was a friend of mine who's a comedian and he goes away when he's off filming. He goes away with his wife and he said, that's when I don't take my meds. So he goes, I have such a great partner because she allows me to go into my ADHD self and accepts it. And, he said it's just this nice holiday from the meds as well. Like I get to just not know what I'm doing.
I tell you what, it's busy in a brain that's just. I mean, I don't know that I've got it. I'm just saying, like my brain is so busy.
Yeah,
I'm sick of it.
Yeah,
sick to death of it.
Exhausted.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to harp on about this because I feel like every man and his dog talks about this shit.
But I do as well. But I love how aware we are now, the awareness of it, that we can even talk about this stuff because this morning I read an article. It is still highly undiagnosed and hard to
because
diagnose.
No one can get into a therapist.
Because all of a sudden we're aware of it and that we just don't have the supply for demand as far as psychiatrists go. And it's so expensive. Like imagine if you didn't have the money at all.
Trudge.
Or if you had kids that had it.
Can I tell you, I don't really have the money.
No.
Because I'm just, this sounds so first worldy, but whatever. Because I'm just siphoning it into my brand new mansion that I'm building. But the money that I find for my therapy sessions, I sell shit on Marketplace.
Good. Yeah.
So, thrifty bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's what
It's,
a lot of people have to do.
Yeah.
People think that, you're in this kind of industry and that you've got money, or that your husband is a builder and he's going to have billions of money.
No, thank you, because I'm paying for half of that thing. Thanks.
Well, yeah, you're renovating. No, you're building.
I'm not jumping on his financial back, thanks.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
No, and you're not that kind of woman. And a lot of women aren't anymore.
We don't even have a joint bank account.
Oh, wow, good.
No.
Good. That's really smart. So you're building a house, you're renting another house.
Yeah.
You got 2 kids in daycare.
Yeah.
And you've got not a full-time job. Like, you don't go that 9 to 5 every day.
No.
You're hustling.
Yes. But what I will say, off the back of the career that I have had, which actually I worked out, it's so random to say, has spanned a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've had a career in reality television and radio that's spanned just coming on 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching you on MKR as Gogglebox, and that would have been our 2nd season. So same.
Yes.
10 years.
And I've made a career out of that, which has kind of now sort of melted into influencing on Instagram. And I used to poo-poo that.
I know. I did as well. But you're like me. You choose good products
Yes.
that you do actually use
Yes.
and like. I'm exactly the same. And that's a very different influencer, I believe.
Yes.
You know,
I don't
there's
plug
still
everything
those-
that comes across my desk.
No.
But also, I now really appreciate that platform and what it has done for my life.
Yeah.
And it is very lucrative, and I still know that people think it's a crock of shit, and they're just jealous.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Jealous, threatened, they don't really get it either.
yeah, but they're
And
also
that's
not
fine.
smart enough to make their own side hustle.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And they like to call it integrity. It's like, if you could, you would.
Listen, no, I'm not going to say that.
Go on.
Because it's cancelable.
Okay. And that's the other
It's kind of a
thing
Kim
I wanted to talk
Kardashian
about, that-
one-liner. Get off your ass, and what does she say?
Do the work hard and
Yeah.
get off your ass and work hard.
And everyone's like, shut up, you bitch,
Shut-
you're a billionaire.
Yeah. I mean, someone like that saying something like that
Trudge.
is so ableist. Not ableist, sorry, classist. It's like, f off.
Yeah,
You
it's
come
just
from
crazy.
money and you've just made money, and you've made, all you do is make money, and you made assholes big.
Made assholes big?
Butt cheeks.
Oh, you made assholes big. You made butts fashionable, big and big.
And you know what? They cushion assholes.
Yeah.
You're like me, because we're been in the industry now 10 years and we've seen people be cancelled. So you want to be really honest and kind of stand by what you believe, what your beliefs are, but you also don't want to offend people, but you're also okay to offend people that are just pearl clutches, because you're the CUN in my mind a good way, you're always on the precipice of being cancelled. But this is what I want to say to you is I watch your stories all the time, and I don't know what your DMs are like, but I know what your followers are like. You have about more than me, but about the same. We've always had about the same amount of followers. And I have had people that still DM me to this day that I've had since the beginning of Gogglebox, and they get me. They love me, and I know them now. Like 10 years we've been I've never met them in real life, but I know their names. I see them come up.
Fiercely loyal.
Fiercely loyal. And that's what I was going to say. Your engagement would be the same as mine. And that's
Same.
why we choose product to our flog that we actually use and like, because we have these people that we know now that our engagement is very high, even though our following may not be as high as like 500,000. Their engagement might be shit house.
Yes.
And it's all about engagement.
Engagement.
That's
what
are we
sells,
going to get
that's-
someone to
yeah,
buy
yeah.
this product?
Yeah.
So if me and my manager, and I'm sure you and your manager would be the same, say to Ash is going to be honest about this. Do you want that? If she doesn't like the product, she's not going to tell everyone to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
My manager does the same. Evie's not going to, flog this if she doesn't actually use it and think it's good.
Yeah.
Just for money, because
Yeah.
her followers will know. I feel so awful when someone says, do you really like that product? And I'll go, yes. Or if I go, I'll actually say, I actually wish I hadn't now. There was
People
only one.
do
I
try
won't say
and
what.
trip me up and, write things in the comments of the ads that, I don't know why they do it, but they're not like my fiercely loyal follower. They're just someone who's come in here just to have a go.
Yeah.
And I'll just put them straight back in their box. Like,
You're one person I'd never take on as a troll, but they don't care, do they?
Not really, but more often than not, the idiots that comment are just dummies anyway.
Yeah. They're easy to get.
They've probably got 2 metres of regrowth in their hair sitting in their Povo lounge room.
Absolutely.
So I don't care.
Are you looking at my 2 metres of regrowth and thinking about that? Because I so need to dye my own
God,
hair.
I hadn't even noticed until
Good.
you said it.
Also, I wanted to ask you a personal question.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to grow your hair really, really long?
Yes.
And does it not grow, or
No.
do you just not like it?
It doesn't grow.
Mine doesn't either.
But also since I had kids, my hair's just turned to
Crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
And it's not as curly and thick as what it used to be. So I can't even. And beforehand, I just think long hair on some people doesn't look good. You need to know what looks good on you.
No, I totally agree. Every time I get my hair to a point and then it stops growing, it's almost like my hair's talking to me and going, you don't want it any longer than this because you do not suit having long hair. I'll put clip-ins in and I look
long clips, clipping hair.
I look like Vicky Pollard from
love Vicky.
It's so bad.
Yeah, but
that's what I look like with clip-ins in.
Oh.
It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
Knew because what happened was this whole thing happened, what I didn't even know nothing about, because Ashley Kramer's been going around saying that Samantha's brother smells mud. But anyway, never even stoned her car, so
Now, can we talk about Traitors?
Yes.
Traitors. And it's so funny because I have always been obsessed with this show. I've watched the American, I've watched the English.
So
I just
good.
really love it. I just really love the show. Can I just straight up say I love Roger Causer and his role in it. He relishes.
Yes, he does. He loves the role.
And it was so nice to see him and Guyton kind of act off, like do the awards, the nominations for awards. I've won. Oh, God, that was good.
God, it was a different show to film. Unlike all the other shows that I've been on, which if you're listening, you don't know what I've ever been on, I'll tell you quickly.
please do.
My Kitchen Rules, Dancing with the Stars, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I had my own cooking show.
Your own cooking show.
On Channel 10. Yeah, the All New Monty.
All New Monty.
Blah, 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 heaps of other stuff. But that's just a few that you would probably know.
You and I have got something in common. We both did The Jungle, which is in
Yeah.
common, but we both did The Viper Room. We both had the snakes.
Dead.
You were way more dramatic than I was.
Well, bitch, I was scared.
You were actually scared?
And I was in the box with Zipporah, so
Scary stuff.
she was Kate Fisher.
Yeah.
She's scary in herself.
Yeah. I remember watching your season, and because I liked you, felt like you were getting a bit bullied in there.
Yes, by the women, yes.
Yeah.
Which is not unusual for me in my life.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Because women they're threatened, right?
I think so. Yeah. I actually don't know why.
Yeah. Have you ever, been
why?
able to get the opportunity to ask? I think it's threatened.
But of what?
Of your confidence.
I don't understand how that is something to dislike someone by.
Well, this is what I'll explain to you. The patriarchy has taught us, like I said right at the beginning, to be very quiet and demure. That's a lady. You're not much of a lady. And women who have internalized misogyny, which means they hate women who are in any way not ladylike.
I have someone in my family that is that.
Mm-hmm. And they are taught to do that. They're taught to hate the very thing in themselves that wants to come out. So if they see it in someone, it's so incensing to them and that's where a lot of the teenage bullying at school comes from.
Yeah.
You know, the Mean Girls, the whole Tina
Oh
Fey
my
wrote
God,
that movie.
I was called a mean girl on Traitors.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
By some of the civilians,
Well,
the
that could
non-celeb peeps.
But that could have been a bit of projection of them being a mean, I don't know, maybe you were a mean girl.
Okay, just quickly on that. So when I was young, I was bullied all the time at school because of my hair. I was like the only person at school that had curly hair. It was very, very unusual. And I would come home and I would be so distraught, so upset. I'd be crying always. And Mum would always say to me, don't worry. they're just jealous. And I believed it. I dead set believed that. And I took that piece of advice through my entire life, even now.
Good.
And that might sound really juvenile to do that and, you know, whatever. But it's helped me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to just think to myself, if anybody says that about me, I actually just feel like, poor you.
I was going to say, sad you.
Yeah.
You're just jealous.
Like...
Well, and at the end of the day, for someone to pick on someone because of their hair is so pathetic.
Pathetic.
And it is a jealous thing.
But even just anything, like you were saying, the bullying on I'm a celeb, I'm like, you know, whilst a lot of those other women were really famous and very successful, they were probably looking at me like, look at this scummy reality TV person that... It's like literally people think of reality television people like that they've just been born out of the womb and they've just been
Done nothing else
in
life.
Like how f***ing close-minded can you be?
Yeah, very disrespectful.
Like, bitch, you have no idea what I've done in my life and
Exactly.
it's epic.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
bet you any money you've not done any of it.
Or they have and they think they're the only ones that have. Therefore, how very dare you?
How very dare you?
There's a lot of that. And that's what I actually saw in the jungle, that there was a lot of projection of, I've done this. You are saying you've done that. But I don't believe that you have because
Yeah.
I've not seen it myself. It's that whole putting your head in the sand and going, well, if I haven't seen it, it doesn't exist. So if I don't know this woman, who the hell is she? And where the hell does she get all that confidence from?
So I remember having a conversation with Steve Price in the jungle, who can often get himself into a little bit of strife.
Yep.
And I was telling him about my life before television, and he was genuinely like gobsmacked.
Yep.
He was like, how stupid am I? I felt like I read that in his eyes.
Yeah.
How silly am I to have judged this girl that I just thought was like just some reality TV
Yeah, wannabe. Exactly.
And then we formed a really good friendship
Yeah.
out of that show because he was like, damn, I maybe he learnt that about himself, that he judges too
Well,
quickly.
he learned a
and-
lot on that show, which
Yeah.
was wonderful to watch.
Yeah. So that's just an example of, you know, I often do bring that
Yes.
piece of advice into my life now and again when I'm feeling like I've got the target on me.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So back to the traitors.
Yes.
The Monday's ep is had you banished.
Yes.
So
that was a quick stint, wasn't it?
I'm really sad that you went so quickly, and I believe, and you may not be allowed to comment on this because we both know how TV works, but I truly believe the producers of that show would have been spewing.
Oh, spewing!
I think the other contestants would have been going, thank God she's gone, for all the reasons.
Yeah.
The threats, plus the she's going to take the money, plus she's been way too honest with me and I don't know what to do with it.
It's an interesting thing working on a show, a reality TV show, when you've done it a million times before and you're working with other people that this is their first go. And
Did you not have any patience for them, Ash?
not really, no. Because
You weren't going to be the mama bear and take them under your wing and show them all the ways.
reality, the reality landscape has changed, and I feel like people are in it for different reasons. I was never in it for fame and never in it for Instagram followers.
What were you in it for?
I wanted to be an actress.
Okay.
That's what I have always wanted to be. I went to acting school. I went to Los Angeles. I studied acting over there.
I did not know this about you.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Do you still?
No.
Okay.
Because my personality couldn't learn the lines and effectively do what an actor needs to concentrate on.
Well, that could
because
be
for
your
whatever
ADHD.
reason, my brain couldn't do it. So the next best thing for me was, performance-wise, reality TV, where I didn't have to learn a script.
Just be yourself.
I could just be myself. And myself was good enough and f***ing awesome. I wasn't getting told off at acting school for, XYZ, which the producers and television networks loved. Plus, I could make great money. You're constantly flogging a dead horse in in the acting realm. You know, you're going to auditions, you're getting turned down,
Constantly.
you're a barista. Listen, I love money. I need to make money. And being a barista and flogging a dead horse at auditions was not me. That wasn't going to buy me a house. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So I needed to find something that was going to tick all the boxes for me. And before I went into reality television, I went back to university and I studied events management because I thought I need this to fall back on in case.
Yeah. Have you ever used it?
Never.
Great.
Yep.
That's good, but you've still got it.
And I also went back to university and got an associate in speech and drama teaching. Have I ever used it? No, but I have those things to fall back on should I ever need to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Pricing right now, aren't I?
Are you?
I already thought you were amazing.
Do you know what I
so
mean?
I do.
So I just didn't pop out of my mum's womb
Definitely.
and
No, you
go on MKR.
You've got. Can I ask how old you are?
37.
37. So 10 years, 27 was when you went on to MKR. And you pretty much did well because when you look at reality TV, everyone thinks they're going to leave and go into radio or hosting or whatever, or influencing. And it really is a small percentage that happens to. And you happen to be one of them.
Yes. Keep in mind, we weren't allowed Instagram back in the day whilst the show was airing. So all of my followers are purely organic.
Yeah.
So that's what people, going back to Traitors, are doing reality TV for these days.
Exactly.
And I don't believe anybody that says they're doing it for fun.
I think some are.
Really?
But that's the small percentage now.
Who? I mean, sorry, that was just a...
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It was rhetoric. But I do believe there still are the people who are going on a love show for love, very small percentage, and the others who are going on to something like The Traitors or Survivor because they are pure fans of the show. They really don't want the followers. Like, you know, you can... Do you watch Survivor?
I've watched a bit of it, yeah.
Okay, because I'm one of the diehards, but I'd never go on it. I've done The Jungle and I'm like, well, that was hard enough, thank you, and I got to bed.
I'm not going on Survivor either. I could not hold on to a log for more than, you know how they got to do those strength things?
Absolutely. But it's not even that. It's the mind tasks, the brain that the stabbing. This is stuff
which is Traitors.
Yes, exactly. So that Traitors is a great option for people who are like Survivor diehard fans who don't. I don't know. You know all the people that you were on the Traitors with, but there would have been a very small percentage of people who are like, I'm not here to make followers or get a campaign from this. I just really love this kind of play.
Well, there was one, Camille, she's on the show, and she did say to me one day, I'm not on this to win the money. And I actually was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Why are you here? She's like, I'm here for a bit of fun. Because I'm a stay-at-home mum and I was like...
money, though. You're here
that's
to win
a load
the money,
of shit.
Camille.
Yeah.
You're not here to get a TV career, but you're there to win $500,000. Is it half or $250,000?
$250,000.
Yeah, wow.
Like, that's a massive amount of money.
I know. Well, you said in your Vox is like, I'm here, I've got a house to pay off.
I've got some marble to put in my kitchen, babe.
That's right.
It's true.
Oh, God.
I hate these prefabricated one-liners when you're asked, why are you here? Like, just tell the truth.
Tell the
I'm
truth.
here to be famous. I'm here for the Instagram followers.
Out of all of the OG, you're an OG reality star, but out of all the shows that you've done, which one have you enjoyed the most?
I can't tell you.
Why?
Because they're all so different.
Right.
They are all so vastly different.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you enjoyed all of them, or have there been any that you've really wished you hadn't?
No, I've actually really enjoyed all of them. There are moments where I'm like, God, this is a punish. Like, My Kitchen Rules was a punish. We would be sitting at an instant restaurant until 3 a.m.
Very different, the MKR back then.
Oh, God, it was a nightmare. Very different. And also it's filmed in winter, but you're told to dress in summer clothes.
Oh, God.
So,
TV.
You know, TV. It's not what it seems.
I used to work at Channel 7 in publicity. I did the original My Restaurant Rules.
Oh, God.
Before the
MKR
reiteration.
days.
Yeah, before it went to MKR. And that was hard because
Yeah.
they would actually go into restaurants and run a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the season, you'd win the restaurant. Like you win the actual restaurant.
Oh, God, I remember that.
Pink Salt in Manly.
Yeah.
And woman that used to sing. Yeah, that was the one I worked on.
Phenomenal.
It's great. It was such a hard show, though. Like, as far as reality goes, it was very early on, and they were really great reality contestants because, you know, we would do all the phoners every day, all the interviews and everything. And what my job was, I would put you through. I would have the media's phone numbers and they would have only mine.
Yes.
And I would have all your numbers.
Yes.
So I would be the go-between. And my restaurant rules were really easy. Like
Switchboard.
Yeah. But they were easy contestants. They were all very professional because a lot of the time, like, do you remember a show called, oh my God, you'd never get away with this today. She Playing It Straight.
No.
Beck from Alice Springs or Darwin, she was a barmaid. She had 20 dudes to choose from. 10 were gay, 10 were straight. Playing it straight.
She had to guess who the
She had to
straights
get
were.
down to the 2 and then choose one, and she still didn't know who was gay and who was straight.
Oh, that's a sick show.
She hated it so much, and she was only about 12.
That's like F-Boy Island, isn't it?
It's exactly this. Well, yeah, but not really, really homophobic.
Do you reckon that show was homophobic?
Well, Playing It Straight, they were making men pretend to be straight.
But why is that homophobic?
Oh, because it's playing on a stereotype. It's playing on something that's...
But they didn't have to do it if they didn't want to.
No, that's right. This is a good argument. But it's
It's like The Biggest Loser as well.
Exactly, and The Swan and the makeover shows. You don't have to do them. But if you're in a world where heteronormative, thin...
You're saying a lot of words now,
Yes.
and this is where I start to get actually a bit annoyed.
Yes, okay. Well, don't be annoyed or I'll punch you in the throat.
Because as a slim,
Yes.
white,
Yes.
female,
Oh, yes.
straight, or
Yes.
what do you call me?
Heteronormative.
I can't say anything.
You can.
Yeah, but
you're
then
gonna
I'll
be
get
held
busted.
Exactly. You're going to get... And this takes me back then to exactly what you
Even
just
saying
said.
that
No.
is like offensive.
No, it isn't offensive. And that's the thing. We talk a lot on this pod about this exact kind of thing because... I had someone in recently called Milo Hartle, and she got called out for something that she said by Carly Findlay.
What did she say?
It's an ableist slur, but you won't think it is. Stupid. She called something stupid or someone stupid, and Carly said we don't use those words anymore.
Why?
Because they're ableist, like they were meant for people in institutions.
I've said stupid like 10 times in this interview.
So have I. And we still do. And Carly is trying to rewrite, as well as a lot of disability advocates are. But I digress.
But when I say that word, I'm not referring to,
No.
It's not coming from a place, and then I'm not
No.
insinuating that you're disabled.
No. And no one is. But it's like the R word,
What's that?
retarded.
Oh, okay. That's different.
Well, remember when that became a really big thing to say?
yeah, because,
The fact that words like dumb, stupid, moron, those words are so normalised in our vocabulary now. But
using
retarded
those
was one that
words-
came in.
using those words wasn't referring to somebody who had a disability originally, was it?
Yes, it
Like
was.
retarded.
Yes, no, exactly. That's what they were originally used for. And that's what we're learning now. We didn't know because they were so normalised and have been for decades.
So then what do you say if someone actually is an idiot?
Uneducated. So this is all stuff I'm learning as well.
Okay, well, I
And
do
that's
say
why that's-
so uneducated.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it. I'm like, and Milo and I were talking.
That's
that
if you want to
Carly-
be cutting, like you use words like that.
Yes.
To make yourself sound slightly smarter, you can go, so uneducated.
Well, that's the thing, Ash, that I think you would find really as interesting as I do about this, as I take it as the challenge of I can be politically correct and I can own it and I can kill this stuff. Like you want me to have different vocabulary so I don't offend people? I can do that. Watch me excel at it.
It also stresses a lot of people out who may actually be uneducated
Yes.
but understand that
They're not.
yeah, so that's also unfair.
I agree. And that's why Carly says be kind about it. Don't be mean to someone that may not understand it. And don't call them out. Call them in. Invite them in. Oh, you just rolled your eyes at that.
I know.
But you know what? That's what you've been taught. And we all have, because they're straight, white, heteronormative.
I love the calling in,
woman.
not calling out. I
Yeah.
like that.
But as soon as I said it, you rolled your eyes.
Because I'm just,
Everyone's doing it.
I don't know. Am I
It's a
that
good
person?
thing. Yeah, no, you're not. I think you're. And that's again where I was
Can't we
saying
just live?
earlier.
Can't we just
We're trying.
try not to be right? Too
Yes.
and slightly more
Yes. I agree.
educated in your approach to conversation.
Yes.
But
It's
why do we have to call everyone in?
just to be kinder.
Yeah, but sometimes we can't always get everything right.
And that's what the calling them in instead of out means.
But every single day, I tell you what, if that lady was next to, what's her name, that calls people in?
Carly Finlay.
If she was with me, she'd be calling me in every day.
She would, yeah.
Of
But you know
my
what?
life.
Can I say that every single day you would be getting better? And it'd get
But
to
I'm
the
not
point-
bad.
No, you're not bad, and I never said you were. And that's where I'm going to go right back to the beginning of this debate, because that's what I'm calling it. We take it as I can't say thin, but white heteronormative women.
Why can't you say thin?
I'm not a thin person. I'm a fat body person, and always
So
have
I
been. That's
can't
my
say
natural.
fat.
No, you're not a fat person.
No, but can I not describe someone as
Yes,
fat?
yes, you absolutely can. I'm just saying I can't call myself a thin body person. You just listed thin, white, heteronormative as you. I can say I'm thin and I'm white. Sorry, I'm white, heteronormative, but I'm not a thin person. So I have that minority offensiveness about me. Like, people use fat like it's a bad thing. Can you not take that photo down? I look so fat in that. Like it's, you just made me my existence.
No, you did that to yourself.
No.
No, because if I said, sometimes I think I look fat, and I say it.
Fat is not a bad thing.
According to you.
Yeah, according to me.
Yeah.
And I'm fat.
But I sometimes don't like being fat
Why not?
because it makes me feel like shit.
Why?
Because my legs rub together. It's uncomfortable.
Why don't you say that then?
Oh, Christ almighty, we're
'Cause what-
splitting hairs.
No, we're not. Because what you did was my body shape, you said, I hate that. I don't want to be that sometimes.
That's...
So this is what I say to people that have that particular thing. What were you feeling? Because fat isn't a feeling. For me, it's my body shape. I don't say, I feel so thin today. I'll say, I feel like I'm really hungry, or I've got a flatter stomach today, or, and for thin people can say, instead of, oh God, I feel so fat today, is what you're actually feeling. I feel bloated today. I feel like I'm retaining way too much water. Whereas when you say, I feel fat today, like it's the worst thing in the world, I hear that and go, so my existence is so horrendous for you. Because I live that every day. Every single day I hear someone say, oh, God, I feel fat. Or my head looks so fat in that. Can you not use that one?
So,
Instead of
some
saying-
people don't always mean what you think that they're meaning.
No, not at all. And that's
So could that be put back on you?
No, yeah, it could, because that will make you feel better.
But I don't care.
No, but I do. So when you use a word that you didn't mean to offend me, and it does anyway, because it's somehow saying that being fat is a bad thing, which you've just said, I don't want to be fat sometimes.
Okay, I don't want my legs to start fires
Say that instead.
like they're just rubbing together.
Say
Do
that
you know what I
instead.
mean?
Say that instead.
I think there are people out there like me who have this verbiage,
Yep.
who don't
Verbiage, I love it.
who don't intend
No,
to
and I
offend.
don't think anyone does, to
And
be honest.
also, you're explaining quite deeply that the way I say things and the words that I choose is because of patriarchy or like whatever.
Learning, yep. Teaching, lessons, learning, like training. What is it? Programming.
Yeah. And yes, that's a valid argument. But I also am I'm saying a lot here because my brain's trying to like. put a sentence together. So I care, but I don't.
I know what you mean. Do you know what cares?
What?
You're going to hate this, and I'm watching your eyes about to roll. What cares is yourself, and what is really doesn't care is your ego.
What?
And
Say
they're
it
two
again?
very different things.
What cares is me.
Yeah, is it yourself, your heart, your spirit?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hurt people's feelings and you want to be the best version of yourself, whereas your ego is like, we want to be really rich and really hot and really thin. And don't let anyone tell you there's anything wrong with you, because if you do, tell them to f*** off. That's just your ego talking.
Yeah.
Whereas
but hold on
can
a
I
second.
ask you this? You respect me?
Yes.
You like me?
Yes.
So me telling you, I saw in your face just now, me telling you that something you said hurt my feelings, like my existence.
Did I actually though?
Yeah, well, no.
No, because I wasn't. I was giving you an example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the fact that I saw in your face that you would like, I wouldn't mean that. I would never say that to you. That's yourself. That's your real self, your spirit. Whereas your ego is the one that goes, oh, but I would. You're taking it all the wrong way. You're not getting it. You're not getting it at all. And I don't want to deal with that. So I just no. I didn't mean it. So you have to deal with that.
Yes, and I understand that. I'm also not like very good at arguing when it's getting very kind of deep and lots of thinking happens. My brain tends to bamboozle itself.
Well, you know what? That's probably your ADHD as well. It's really hard, but you're so incredibly intelligent, and that's only why I respect you enough to at least give you my
I also hope that I'm not sounding uneducated. Dumb came first and then I stopped.
Good on you.
Yeah. So learning. Also, when you have children, you tend to you're in survival mode.
Absolutely.
And I have noticed this about my behaviour and the way I speak to people is absolutely without filter.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time. Don't have time for your feelings. I only have time for my kids, and I'm just trying to preserve my own self, because inside my head and inside my heart, I'm spiralling.
Oh, darling.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So there are people out there who actually are in a world of hurt that don't mean to offend, and some people could say there's absolutely no excuse for it.
No,
but sometimes
that's mean.
Yeah, sometimes there just is an excuse.
I totally get where you're coming from with that, and I think everyone, as long as we're all trying we're all surviving.
But
at
you
the
don't
end of the
actually
day,
know.
and people need to understand that.
You don't know people's levels. People could be a full-time number 10.
True.
But they actually could really be trying to be a better person. But to you, like they've come down a notch now to 9, but you're like, that person's a mega.
Still, up there.
But they've been trying and they're
getting
working
better.
on getting back to a number 1. But you don't know that, do you?
Exactly. And I exactly agree and know exactly what you're trying to say, and I agree with it. Everyone, and that's the thing about being human, is we all, at the end of the day, are just trying to make connection. That's what we're put here for. It's why we have kids. We're just trying to be.
So often just want to be like my auntie and uncle who don't want for much. They love each other and they are always happy. That's just what I want.
That's the perfect life, isn't it?
I don't think so though, because I still always want for more.
Okay, well, that is time for another podcast called Dear Evie. We've so run out of time. I could honestly talk to you like this, like even though it got really heated, it was so beautifully respectful. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
For, really listening to me and allowing me to listen to you. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on, because I think you're misunderstood.
Oh, thanks.
I think you could be at Pink album called Misunderstood. Or was that Kelly
Was
Clarkson?
there already an album called that?
Yeah. I think
Miss Independent, Miss Self-Sufficient,
It's one of the best bangers.
Miss Let a Man, Miss Don't Let a Man
That's you.
Interfere. Do you know I play that song for my kids all the time?
I love when you can.
This is your anthem, girls.
Before we go, I'm just going to say one last thing. I watch your stories. Thank you so much for recently a story where you you were at your tether's end with Claudette, and you showed us, and I was bawling my eyes out with you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. I'm not a mum, but I have dogs, and I also do foster dogs, and I get bitten a lot. And
that's fostering animals is stressful.
It's very
I used to be a
stressful.
foster parent,
Thank
so I
you.
can attest to that.
So but children are a whole other beast.
Oh my God.
And also they come from your body. And so there is that you hear them cry and it literally starts to break your heart. But, you also want to kill them.
100%.
So I just want to
You're
say
at
thank you
wit's
because,
end.
watching that, it really got me. And not just because I have, this thing with animals, but because you were so honest about it. There would have been, I can only imagine how many DMs you got from that, but there would have been so many women, some that never even let you know of how much that would have helped to see you be so honest about it. So thank you for that, because it was keep that stuff going.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It's so nice to see. That's the kind of parenting I love, because I see all the bullshit. We all do. We just see it. It's like, oh, off. You are not that. You have not got that shit together. I'm sorry. That is not real life.
I know. Isn't that so
and it
annoying?
just makes other people feel like they've got to behave
No,
somehow.
you've got to unfollow that.
Yep.
Unfollow it immediately. Oh, God.
Amen.
Yeah.
Unfollow people that make you feel like you need to.
And it's not that person's fault, not the other person's fault. Like, just
just try and-
unfollow,
Yep.
out of sight, out of mind.
And don't announce it. You don't need to announce your unfollowing. So thank you for coming on. It's one of the reasons I wanted you here, because I truly believe that you're such a lovely person.
Thank you.
And that you are so open to being honest, but also hearing honesty, even if it hurts a little bit sometimes. I certainly hope I didn't offend you in any way
No.
in our conversation here, which is so wonderful. Thank you for letting me speak to you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you liked this episode, please rate, review, slide into our DMs, follow Ash Pollard on Instagram. Do you do Facebook? Isn't it the worst?
That's for boomers. What are we talking? Is that offensive?
I was just going to say you can't say that word, but
Well,
you
I
can. No, you totally can. Everything you say now, I'm just going to go, Ash, I'm calling you
say
in.
that.
You're not allowed to say that anymore. I'm going to get in trouble, cancelled for saying calling you in as a joke. See who can get cancelled first between you and me.
It'll be me, babe.
Listen to us next. Listen to me next week. I've got a wonderful new guest on who I won't say because I've still got my guest in front of me, and I, keep the seat warm. Will you please come back another time?
Yeah, love it.
Thank
so
you.
much more to talk about.
So much more.
Like how my bloke is. Oh, I need to talk about that.
That. Please come back and talk about that.
What about
because-
mother-in-law chat? Oh, God! Relatable.
Will you please come back and talk about these things?
Yep.
All right. Get in your ear holes. I'll be in your ear holes next week. Love you all. Talk to you soon.